Hello, I'm Brigantia Blackbird of the Blackbird Grimoire. Welcome to the daily forecast for Thursday, October 24th, 2024. It is the 3rd of Scorpio and the day of the swamp creature. In our astrology, the sun is in Scorpio, fixed water, representing resourcefulness. The moon is fourth quarter Leo, fixed fire, representing enthusiasm. Mercury is in Scorpio, fixed water, representing spiritual. Venus is in Sagittarius, mutable fire, representing generosity. Mars is in Cancer, cardinal water, which is seeking security. Jupiter is retrograding in Gemini, mutable air, which is to broaden perspective. Saturn is retrograding in Pisces, mutable water, which is to redefine dreams. Uranus is retrograding in Taurus, fixed earth, representing rebellion. Neptune is retrograding in Pisces, mutable water, which is spiritual awakenings. And Pluto is in Capricorn, cardinal earth, representing reconstruction. Now, for our retrograde reminders. For Jupiter, it's about reconnecting with your true path. For Saturn, reclaim your authority. For Uranus, reconsider how you rebel. For Neptune, reclaim your magic. And for Chiron, restore the heroic spirit. Our moon phase is now the fourth quarter, so release what does not serve, get rid of all the junk. We need to do this ahead of Samhain anyway if we want to start the spiritual new year fresh. For our Leo moon, the do's are lead, perform, celebrate, and the don'ts are getting stuck in depressing environments, hanging out with unappreciative people, and getting too bogged down in really tedious details. So try to watch that today. So it is the day of Jupiter, and the Jupiter retrograde is seeking a new way of thinking and being and doing things. And then the fourth quarter Leo moon is all about getting rid of what neither sustains nor enriches one's life. So this is an excellent day for clearing out both material and digital spaces. Even if you're just kind of cleaning up something like your YouTube subscriptions, you're keeping the ones who you watch regularly and that you really enjoy or that you find particularly informative, and the ones that you forgot you ever subscribed to or you don't really care for them anymore, that it isn't serving a useful purpose, you would be amazed how much of a weight is lifted off of your shoulders simply by unsubscribing to them. Now, hopefully you stay subscribed to me. Hopefully I provide something of value to you. But seriously, if something is not adding something to your life, if it is not providing anything useful to your day, get it out, unburden yourself with all this stuff. Don't feel guilty about it. Make sure that you are only keeping that which is useful and beautiful and enriching to you, and you will feel so much better for it. And if you feel better now, then by the time we get to Samhain itself, you're going to be in this really fantastic frame of mind to really start over fresh, to have that momentous feeling of release during your ritual, and just to get everything started off right. Now, for our Halloween tarot, we have the King of Ghosts. Kings represent patriarchs. The ghost, a suited ghost, is the emotional feminine, receptive energy, the water element, and emotion. And the keywords for this card are powerful and responsible man, generous, patron of the arts and sciences. So this is someone who is clearly taking his duties very seriously, and it isn't so much about exercising his power as it is making sure that society is being built up. He isn't just powerful to be powerful and like, notice it's very specific to a responsible man. What needs to be fixed? What needs to be taken care of? What needs to be attended to? That's all about responsibility. And then with generosity, it's about making use of the resources within one's possession to be able to be of benefit and to enrich the lives of other people. And with being patron of the arts and sciences, these are things that, when they are utilized properly, not with some of the ne'er do wells who occupy those professions nowadays, but the whole purpose of it is to be visionary, to help humanity take that next step into its future, whether it's through artistic exploration or through scientific discovery. And so, by benefiting those things, he's trying to lay the groundwork for a future. So, he's not just thinking about the good of today, it's about the good of generations to come. And I'd really like to stress that point about generational thinking, because we are laying the pagan foundations for the future that other generations of pagans will inherit. And I feel an enormous pressure to try to do my part with that. And of course, that's something that every single living pagan today is playing a part in. No matter how public or how anonymous, we're all adding to that foundation. And so the pressure to make sure that it's something worthwhile and something that can actually bear the weight of gradually rebuilding ourselves into a proper civilization, that's enormous. But it's a lot less burdensome when we think about how we're all playing a role in this, and that all we really need to do is to do our part by contributing what it is that we individually have to offer. Next up, our Celtic triad today, three parts to everything. He won, she won, they won in third. So he won. This is referring to the masculine, light, heat, projective, active, air, and fire elements. This is the essence of what masculine energy is. It is the initiator. And then she won. This is the feminine, darkness, cold, receptive, passive, water and earth elements. This is the receiver of energies. And then they won. This is when you bring together the masculine and the feminine and you have the spark of creation, and that is only made possible by the union of the masculine and the feminine. So that is why these are the three parts to everything. You're going to have an active element, you're going to have a more passive receiving element, and then you're going to be the product of what comes from those energies together. And that is why it is always three parts to everything, and one of many reasons why the number three is a repeating sacred number throughout so many traditions. Then for today's correspondences, they are on the theme of vitality. The color is crimson, the plant is the rowan, the animal is the red-winged blackbird, and the crystal is bloodstone. So give yourself a boost. The spiritual New Year's beckons. You don't want to go in ill and tired and haggard and just kind of weighed down by everything that's come before. You need to be renewed, refreshed. Yes, we're going into the rest of winter, but wouldn't you rather do that in a more upbeat frame of mind? So drawing upon these correspondences, and you have so many different ways of doing this, this can help infuse yourself with an additional boost of vitality, which if you've been ill, like I was recently, this is something you can very much use to get yourself back up to par. Then for today's practices, Thursdays are for cooking magic. Then a contemplation question. Do you ever feel like a swamp moss monster stagnating in the primordial ooze? And I ask that because I think stagnation is a feeling that many of us can relate to, especially after the past few years. And especially if we think back to the COVID lockdowns. Stagnation was our condition, and it was horrible. And when we stagnate, when we're not being renewed, we start kind of decaying, we start getting icky, and the next thing you know, we are the embodiment of the swamp monster. And I think if we look at some of the bad behavior and some of the absolute mental goings ons right now, I think part of it is in consequence of that period of time when we were stagnating, not just as a civilization, but as an entire world. So this is something to think about because I don't know about you, but I don't think any of us want to stay in that condition. So next up, how can your actions be like Jupiter? Where is there a distinct lack of Jupiterian wisdom in society? And Thursdays are practical days, so sort out your cold weather wardrobe. Now, as I'm recording this, we are going into a week where we are going to once again be in the 80s. Yeah, yeah, it hurts. It hurts me in my heart because we are at the end of October, not the beginning, not the middle. We are at the end of October, and I have to deal with the insult of temperatures in the 80s. It's very cruel. I mean, it's all part of the weather cycles, and I know it's just our turn to be dealing with this. But nevertheless, even if, like me, you are having to go back to some of your warm weather coping skills, the cold weather is just around the corner for us all, and we are going to need to be prepared. And it's much better to, have your, winter clothes ready and have everything, spiffed up and cleaned and ready to go. That way, if the weather does this, we're going to boil you one day and freeze you the next, as it so often does for us in Missouri. You're prepared. You can roll with it. You're not going to be in this mad dash of, "Oh, where's my coat? Oh, it smells funny. Didn't I wash it after last season? I didn't. Well, maybe no one will notice today. It's cold. I have to do something." Don't put yourself in that position. Make sure you are prepared ahead of time. Now, for the recipe for today, I found a witch's stew, and based upon the artwork and the type font and everything else, I think someone actually took this from one of Llewellyn's. date books. I mean, at least that's what it looks like to my eye. But this is witch's stew, and for this you need 3 pounds of beef round steak cubed, 3 tablespoons of butter, salt and pepper to taste, 2 tablespoons of flour, 16 ounces of beef broth, 2 cups red wine, so you know that's good, 8 ounces a can of tomato sauce, 2 tablespoons Worcestershire sauce. I don't care if I mispronounce that. Literally everyone does. 6 medium potatoes peeled and quartered, 6 to 8 carrots chopped, 6 to 8 celery stalks chopped, 1 large onion chopped, 10 to 12 sliced mushrooms, 2 cloves garlic pressed, 2 teaspoons thyme, 2 to 3 sprigs rosemary, fresh parsley, bacon bits, a loaf of crusty bread. So it just the ingredients put together sounds absolutely amazing. And then the instructions are in a Dutch oven over medium heat, brown beef and butter with salt and pepper to taste. When all sides are browned, add flour, stirring until beef is nice and coated. Add beef broth, wine, tomato sauce, and Worcestershire sauce. Cover and let simmer for about an hour. Add the rest of the ingredients, add water or more wine for richer flavor, and let simmer for another hour and a half. Remove rosemary stems and serve with fresh parsley, bacon bits, and some crusty bread. And it's credited to Monica Crossan. So, whether you choose to use this recipe or not, and if you would like to, I do have it posted under the community tab on my YouTube channel. But, what is your favorite cold weather soup or stew or chili? Because, again, even if you're not getting the goodness kind of weather to have this sort of meal today, it is coming. It is coming. I can feel it. And hopefully, after this last little bump in the heat wave, we will be done with all of this odious warmth and all of that hideous. I am so sick of seeing the sun, and I'll tell you why. We've been in the middle of the most horrendous drought. I want to see storm clouds. I want lightning. I want rain. I want everything to just collapse on top of me because we haven't had any of it. And, everything is, we're not getting a pretty leaf season. Everything is just going from, kind of a sickly green because the poor trees don't have enough moisture to kind of this icky brown. And, we're not getting the pretty in between. So I feel a bit cheated this year. So, but things will turn. They always do. Now, for our journal prompt, how do you protect your home from baneful energies, people, and spirits? Articulating this, that can also help you see if you're taking what would be sufficient precautionary measures. And I do encourage everyone to kind of beef up their home protection around this time of year because there's a lot of energies floating around. Not all of them are friendly, and it's just as well to have the home protected and taken care of. It's so much easier to keep something out than it is to get rid of it once it's in. So, just something to figure out there. And that is what I have for you today. Have a magical and delightfully spooky day. And let me know what you thought about all of this in the comments section. I look forward to reading what you have to say, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.